Hello?
Hey, Coach. We'll start with Vic Lombardi.
Coach, you jump out to that 9-0 lead, and it's like somebody hit a button and sapped you of all your energy. How do you explain the lack of energy tonight?
I'm sure you could use the convenient excuse of back-to-back, playing a tough game in Memphis last night, getting in late. Our players, there was a big screw-up with their testing today. They tested in the morning, and then because there was a mistake, they had to come back to the arena probably between 12 and 1, which I'm sure messed up a lot of their game day routines. I can make any excuse you want, Vic, but the bottom line is, especially that second and third quarter, we did not play nearly well enough on either end of the floor. The reason we were 10 and 14 in the last 14 games and 5 and 0 in our last 5 is because we were a top 5 defensive and offensive team. And obviously tonight, they really hurt us from the 3. When we don't rebound, we don't win games. Point blank, they out-rebounded us by 8. And I felt very stagnant on offense. A lot of standing around, a lot of ball watching, and a lot of poor shots. So that's not who we've been. Hopefully we can get some rest and come back on Monday night against Indiana and try to play a 48-minute game.
Next, we'll go to Mike Singer.
Hey, Michael, you mentioned the defense, which had been so good during the winning streak. Where did you see the biggest breakdowns defensively tonight?
All over the place, to be honest with you, Mike. I mean, 116 points, 49 from the field. They made 18 threes. That third quarter, the ball was moving a lot faster than we were. We gave up. Come on, this play kind of is a microcosm of the game, in my opinion. We miss a free throw, and Tim Hardaway gets a dunk on the other end. We had way too many game plan discipline mistakes, not in the proper coverage, not communicating. And against that team, they're, I think, 12 and 3 in their last 15 games now. They're playing very, very well. And, we just transition, half court, pick and roll, catch and shoot, paint, rebounding, you name it. We just were nowhere near where we needed to be.
Next, we'll go to Brendan Voigt.
Coach, you've had to mess around with your rotations a lot this year. We've seen Porter at the 3, Porter at the 4. I'm just curious, when Millsap is healthy as well, what goes into that decision-making process when you're deciding, who should play where?
Well, Monte not being available tonight, that's the thing. Last game in Memphis last night, last-minute scratches, no JaMychal, no Zeke, stomach bug. Obviously tonight, no Monte Morris. I'm surprised Nikola played tonight. I didn't think he was going to be able to play, but he went out there and obviously fought through it. But no Monte Morris. Monte, as we talked pregame, has been a really big part of that lineup to go 5-0 and 10-4 in the last 14. So Monte not being available, with them playing 2 more traditional bigs and Maxey and Porzingis, threw Paul out there. Obviously, last game, I started the group that's been playing well and brought Paul off the bench. But with another body out tonight at Monte, we went big. And, you could see definitely some rust with that lineup. And we're trying to work a lot of guys back into the rotation, which is never easy.
Next, we'll go to David Chinolato.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious about Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, he had that big fourth quarter, but what did you see from him tonight?
Yeah, unfortunately for Michael, he picked up the 2 quick fouls in the first quarter. I ran him a few more minutes after that, got him out, did not want him to get his 3rd foul in the first quarter. Brought him back early in the second quarter, and unfortunately, he got his 3rd foul right away. So first half, he really had no rhythm at all because of foul trouble. And obviously in the second half, he finishes with 23 points, 8 rebounds, goes 4 or 5 from 3. And not that we were really close at the end, but we made it a little bit interesting. And Michael's threes and shot-making ability down the stretch were a part of that. So I wish that performance was in a winning game for us. But, hopefully we can just keep Michael out of foul trouble so he can stay on the floor a lot more than the 23 minutes he played tonight.
We have time for one more, Coach. We'll go to Matt Moore.
Coach, you were shorthanded for most of that first half of the season. The schedule was brutal. You get a week off, you come back. Now you got the stomach bug. Guys still aren't back. You've got testing issues. Is the fatigue level still as high as it was before the All-Star break? Did that really help at all? And how can you get mental rest for both you and the players?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I'm not sure if I have the answer, Matt. The All-Star break I think this happened last year as well. You always welcome the All-Star break because it allows guys a little bit of a chance to get their bodies right, to get away from it. We were playing at a really high level going into the break. So when you're playing at that level and you have that rhythm, sometimes you don't want to stop playing. And the reality of it was like, yes, there was an All-Star break, but not really. Like, no matter where you were, I started to come down to the arena every day to test, as did every other player and coach in the NBA. So I am not singing the blues. I'm just stating the facts. So it wasn't like you could just kind of completely unplug like a traditional All-Star break and get away. And I think, because right now the head coaches, they've changed the protocols once again. They've changed so many times this year as the NBA tries to get a hold of this. But head coaches and players, we test 3 times a day. I tested 3 times yesterday in Memphis. I'm going to test 3 times today in Denver. And I think that definitely wears on people. So the challenge here, Matt, I'll finish with this, is it's going to be somehow we're going to have to figure it out, because as tough as the first half of the season was, this second half is going to be even more challenging because of the density of games. I think we're playing close to 4 games a week. You're playing more back-to-backs. We're for some reason, we didn't get the luxury of playing those series games on the road that everybody else did. We have the fewest in the Western Conference, and those were put in place to ease the amount of travel you have. Well, for some reason, Rodney Dangerfield, I'm not sure what it is, but we only got 1 in the first half of the season at Phoenix in a back-to-back, and we got 1 in his home against San Antonio the second half. Other teams have 10. It's going to be a challenge, but we've been here before. We've been in adverse situations. We just got to find a way to fight through it and stay together. And I just hope come Monday night, we'll have a lot more energy, to Vic's earlier point, than we had tonight, and we can find a way to protect our home court.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Get home safe, everybody. Appreciate it, guys.